Welcome, friends. I'm so happy you're here for another episode. Today, I'm holding my microphone because I cannot figure out how to keep this on my body and not have it be a mess. So I'm gonna give this a try. We'll see how we like it. I want to go through my favorite tops and measure them, and then compare them against my own personal measurements so that I can try to figure out what is or what are my favorite ease amounts for form fitting garments, t shirts. I also have a couple of cropped tops, and I want to measure them so that I can have a better understanding on how cropped do I actually like my garments to be. And then I have some positive ease cardigans. They're my favorite cardigans. I'm a little scared of trying to make garments purely because of the button bands, but I'll one day I'll make myself a cardigan. So I want to know what the measurements need to be. I got the idea of doing this from watching Knit's video on her 2024 goals, and she called them her magic numbers. Um, she just kind of explained it as trying to figure out what your favorite positive ease is, what your favorite negative ease is for different types of garments so that you can find your magic numbers. Um, I thought that was brilliant. I mean, why are we not all doing that? And if everyone is doing that and not sharing it, why are you gatekeeping this information? Um, but anyway, she mentioned that this was an idea that she had heard around in the knitting community. I tried looking it up and I couldn't find anyone making any mention of magic numbers in this sense. Um so I wonder who are the people that she was referring to that are talking about this. Or maybe I completely misunderstood her. I don't know. I mean, honestly, I tried looking it up to try to get some direction on, you know, what are the thoughts of people who have done this before me, and I couldn't find anything, but I'm just gonna give it a shot. Um, so yeah, that's what I'm gonna be doing today. I'm gonna grab all of my favorite garments, I'm gonna categorize them, I'm gonna measure them, and then compare them against my own measurements. And well, and then that's gonna be it because it's gonna take me, I guess, all of this year to then use the information that I gathered today, employ it into picking the sizes of the garments that I'm gonna be knitting and crocheting probably, and see how happy I am about the fit afterwards. So, let's go through these. Let's start with the negative ease ones, the obvious negative ease ones. This is my favorite bralette, and I love it so much that I own like 5 of them. Then I have my 3 favorite spaghetti strap cropped tops. So these are my favorite tops. And then my mastodon top. This one, it's so old. It is over 10 years since I've had this top. It has a hole in it. I'm scared of wearing it because I don't want it to continue deteriorating, but I love the way that it looks on me so much. It's such a great t-shirt. Then I have normal length tops with longer sleeves because I also want to measure. I could try to measure my arms, but it's kind of awkward to do so. Anyway, this I think is the oldest top that I own. It's from Zara. I was trying to do the math on for how long have I had this top. Considering it's from Zara, it means that I've had this since before I moved to the US. This year marks 10 years since I've been living in the US. And also because it's Zara, it would mean that this would have been purchased when I was still sharing all of my clothes with my sister. So my middle sister is only a year and a half older than I am, and since we are so close in age, we grew up always sharing the same room, sharing all of our clothes. We almost have the same shoe size. She is just barely a bigger shoe size than I am, which means that yes, I could realistically wear her shoes, even if they're a little loose and uncomfortable, which meant that my parents would buy shoes in her size so that we could both wear them. That probably means that this top is about 15 years old. And I don't think you would be able to tell. I mean, the black is not really washed out. Compare it to the Mastodon shirt. I mean, this is a really good shirt. Unfortunately, it seems like we cut the tag at some point. So I have no way of knowing what material this top is made of. So yeah, I'm assuming cotton, but there's no way of knowing. But it's definitely good quality shirt. And then I have this top. It's just a good old long sleeve shirt, nothing crazy. This one is also super old, actually. This is also one that I used to share with my sister. Now, like I mentioned, I'm a little scared of trying to venture into making my own cardigan because I see so many people online struggling with the button bands. Like, just the idea of spending hours upon hours making a garment just for the very last step to be the hardest of steps is a deterrent for me. But I figured eventually one day I will make my own top, my own cardigans. So I might as well just do the measurements now. So I think this one on the top is my absolute favorite that I own. It's cropped, it's loose, it's so nice. Then I have the two bottom ones are a lot longer, like down to my butt. So those are all of my favorite tops. The next steps are gonna be to measure them all, write them down on my laptop, and then I can figure out what is my favorite positive ease and negative ease on all of these different type of tops. I wanted to show this framework bralette of hers that I made. I made this, I want to say in 2021, or no, I think it was 2020. I made it in 2020. It took me so long to make. It was quite literally a pain to make. It completely destroyed my wrists. I am a naturally tight crocheter and a naturally tight knitter, and with knitting, I feel like in the beginning I was so insanely tight. So trying to make this was so difficult. And then I finished it and it does not fit me comfortably. It is so insanely uncomfortable. I think, and I want to test out my theory today when I do all of the measuring. But basically, I think that partially I might have chosen the wrong size. But I think that the main reason why this does not fit me comfortably is because it is made out of cotton yarn. I understand that cotton is simply not stretchy enough compared to other yarns that would be more suited for this type of project. So it does stretch, it has some stretch, but it is not nearly enough and it is quite constricting on me. But also, I've gained weight ever since the pandemic and becoming absolutely obsessed with a very sedentary hobby. Um, so that might also be part of it. I am proud of the fact that I was able to make this as a beginner back in 2020, but it just does not fit me. I think I'm ready to start measuring all of these things and start putting them into my spreadsheet. Let's see how long this takes me. It is 11:30 a.m. This has taken so much longer than I was hoping. I want to get so many things done today. Today's Saturday. I don't want to spend all day doing this, so let's get into it. I'll see you on the other side. So, here are. Am I recording? Yes. Okay. So here are my measurements. And here are of all of the garments that I measured today. I think that the most surprising thing that I've learned is that my most tight-fitting garments, they have anywhere from 11 inches of negative ease all the way up to 6 inches of negative ease compared to my full bust. That is extremely surprising because I feel like every time I've looked at patterns for tight-fitting garments, they'll ask for like 5 inches of negative ease. This is very interesting. I did not take into account the material that these garments are made with. If I were to knit myself something that is very tight-fitting, I would be scared to try to do it with like negative 10 inches of or 10 inches of negative ease, especially if that is not what the designer is asking for. Compared to my upper bust, the t-shirts are, quite there, like 0 of negative ease. The one t-shirt that is a lot tighter, that is the Mastodon t-shirt. It's in line with my tightest fitting garments that I really like, so I guess it's not that crazy. But now I know that if I wanted to have almost like a t-shirt drape on me to go with 0 ease compared to my upper bust. For my cardigans, I suppose I don't know how much I can say about the cardigans because you can just keep them open. So this would only matter if I'm planning on closing them up with buttons. But I was surprised to see that with the reddish cardigan, that it is 0 positive ease compared to my bust. The black cardigan is only 2 inches of positive ease. The green cardigan, which I do really like closing that one up, that one is 8 inches of positive ease. Again, I gotta take that with a grain of salt, considering that they are cardigans, they're open at the front. Now, for the cropped items, the body lengths are pretty even throughout. So for this one, I have 9.5, 10.5, 8, 13, but that's a t-shirt, so it's cropped in t-shirt terms. It's not even like that cropped, but it is more cropped compared to the other t-shirts. And then my cardigan crop, which I really like the way that it sits on me, is 9.5. It's very interesting to see all of these numbers, how they compare to my own body measurements. I did want to measure the framework bralette that I made 4 years ago. So let's do that next. I can already tell, I believe, that this is way smaller than all of my favorite garments. So it comes out at like 11.75. Yeah, so that's 23.5. So that is definitely too small. My tightest fittest that makes no sense. My tightest garment is 29 inches circumference, and this is 23.5 circumference. So that's the mystery. I made it too small. I messed up somehow, like the measurements. Maybe I just didn't measure myself appropriately, or maybe I did gain a lot of weight during the pandemic, and it's been really, really hard to trim it down and keep it down. So maybe when I measured myself, I did it right and I just gained a lot of weight. I can't imagine I gained that much, though. I must have just messed up. I always wondered why this came out so wrong. And now I know I just messed up the sizing. It's not the fact that it's out of cotton, because I still have this cotton yarn in my stash, and I've been really worried about using it again for a garment. So maybe I'll try it again. Maybe this year I'll try it again. If you hear my stomach, I'm just really hungry. It is 1:20 p.m. and I haven't had any food today, just tea. So I am very hungry. So I'm gonna leave you at that. Today's Wednesday, and I recorded all the stuff that you just saw on Saturday, and I've had a little bit more time to continue trying to find online people who have been, maybe given some sort of opinion or thoughts or recommendations on how to find your favorite fit. And I still wasn't quite able to find something that was extremely explicit. However, earlier today I did watch this video by Crazy for You. So I don't know how to say EWE. I don't know how to say it. I know that it's supposed to sound maybe like you. I do not how to say it though. So anyway, I'll link the video below because I think that it was very informative. Obviously, so she goes about explaining what ease is. And that was fine. I still think that she was able to give some information that just kind of validated the stuff that I already knew. But what meant a lot to me was that buried deep in that video, she does refer on how if you find a pattern with a specified amount of ease and you and if you're not able to like really visualize how that may look on your body, you can still go into your wardrobe or just go to some boutique or shop in person and try to find garments that have a similar ease compared to your body and try them on so that you can really know or have a better understanding on how the pattern that you're looking at might reflect on you. And that was the validation that I needed to be like, yes, this idea does make sense. And obviously when I put it into words, why wouldn't it make sense, right? And obviously, I'm a new knitter I really want to make myself a lot of new garments this year. So I suppose I just do not want to go through the process of spending hours upon hours making a bunch of garments, basically going into it blindly. Because even if in a pattern we have a model with a recommended amount of positive ease or negative ease or no ease, whatever, the person on the pictures is most likely not gonna have my same measurements, and even if they do, they might not be my same height. So there's just too many variables, and I've been, I struggle with body image, and I just need to not feel entirely discouraged from spending all of this time and effort making a garment just for it to not fit me the way that I would hope that it would fit me. And I understand that a lot of it is gonna come down to trial and error. I'm not gonna get it perfectly the first time, but I also want to do the research that I can to make sure that the trial and error is reduced as much as possible. And another thing that Ellen mentions in her video was someone had the question on, I want to make myself a top and it recommends a certain ease, but the yarn that I want to use doesn't have a lot of give, so that makes me nervous. And she said something that is so true and it's so easy to forget, which is even if the yarn itself doesn't have a lot of ease, knitted fabric has a lot of ease. Obviously, it's not the ease that knitting itself gives garments isn't gonna solve everything. It is definitely something to keep into consideration. So maybe my problem that I had with my framework bralette, maybe it wasn't helped. Like maybe me making it with cotton yarn didn't help the issue, but it might have not been the main issue. I went back into my project because I wanted to kind of narrow down what it is that must have happened when I was working on that project. And basically, I did write down what my full bust measurement was back then. So right now I am a 40-inch bust. Back then I was a 38.5. So first, I might have not knitted a gauge swatch. I can't remember knitting one, and even if I did, I didn't learn that you had to knit gauge swatches in the round up until recently. So if I did knit a gauge swatch, it would have been flat, so that wouldn't have helped with making sure that I had the correct gauge for that pattern. But second, it was my intention to knit a bralette size medium, what Jessie made lists as a medium size. And if I look at her schematic for the pattern, basically with my gauge and whatever other mistakes that I must have made while making that bralette, it basically came out at the width at a circumference of an extra small. So yeah, no wonder it doesn't fit me. I realized that when this video comes out, we will be just 9 days away from the first day of spring. And I am extremely excited. Spring is my absolute favorite season out of the entire year. It's also when my birthday occurs, so I love spring. I'm extremely excited for it. I am so ready to work on spring and summer knits. Now, if you didn't already know, I live in Minnesota in the United States, and spring is a myth, at least here. The period of time in which we consistently get what you would consider a spring weather is basically non-existent. Spring here is either winter or it's summer, like temperatures. There's rarely an in-between. With the knowledge that I have now on what are my ease preferences on my body, and with the knowledge that spring in Minnesota being what it is, it's mostly just gonna look like a summer top, what most people are gonna consider is a summer top. I have spent a lot of time trying to look at patterns that I've already put into my favorites in Ravelry and decide what it is that I'm gonna be making in spring of 2024. And I have narrowed it down to 2 patterns. I am happy to announce that I am finally going to be able to make the Pie Camisole by Nabita Jared at Creatia Studio that I've been wanting to make ever since last summer. It is an absolutely beautiful top. I can't wait to make it. I have already bought the yarn for this, and I showed it in one of the Vlogmas videos that came out a couple months ago in December. So this is the Fuzzy Peach Fibers yarn. It was out of her Hello Pumpkin collection. The colorway is called Midnight. It's an absolutely beautiful green. I don't even believe that it reflects correctly on camera. It looks a little more blue on camera. It might also have something to do with the lighting, but it's absolutely beautiful. I love this. I have it on the base Cozy, which is 100% ultrafine superwash merino, and it's a fingering weight. So I bought this yarn specifically for the Pie Camisole, and I'm finally gonna be able to make it. The ease that is recommended is not actually listed in the project page, but I've already bought this pattern, so you know, I don't think it's a secret, like a pattern secret, so hopefully it'll be fine for me to say it. But basically in the pattern itself, she recommends between 2 and 4 of negative ease. So that means that this should fit me maybe like my Mastodon t-shirt, so you know, it's a little bit tighter but not as tight as my favorite crop tops. So these should still be pretty good for the spring. Being able to have a much better image on how this top might look on me is so incredibly helpful. And obviously I'm gonna have to be really careful with my gauge swatching and maintaining my gauge throughout the entire project so that the finished garment can match what is recommended. Now, the second pattern that I'm going to be making in spring 2024, I better make it, is the Helianthus by Andregon. And I'm sorry that I'm yelling at you and pointing at you. I'm not pointing at you, I'm pointing at myself, okay? This is to me. Agatha, you gotta make the Helianthus by Andregon. It is so freaking cute. I can't wait to make it. And she recommends an ease of 0 to -2. So that means that it would fit me like some of my favorite t-shirts if compared to my upper bust. So that is going to be perfect. I think that's going to be great for spring. And I've decided that the yarn that I'm going to use for it is this Malabrigo yarn. I don't know which is which. I've owned these since 2021. I bought them on my birthday in 2021 at one of my favorite, if not my top one, yarn shop. It's located in Winona, Minnesota. It's called Yarnology. One of these is called Teal Heather and the other one is called Solis, but I don't know which is which. I bought these originally for the framework bralette, I wanted to first try to make myself a knitted garment. I literally called the one that I made my trial bralette in my Ravelry project page. The intention was that I would try to make it in the cheaper yarn first, which was the cotton yarn, and then once I felt comfortable with making that pattern, I would make it in the real yarn. Like this was gonna be like the real one. But it came out just so wrong that I became incredibly discouraged and I never made it. So this yarn has just been sitting, waiting for its time to come. And its time has come. I also found this other pattern that looks so freaking cute. If I have the time to make it, I might as well just go and make it because it's so freaking cute. I'm gonna completely mispronounce this, so I'm sorry beforehand. But it's the Midsummer Crans sleeveless top by Len Toasty. It's so beautiful. It's got this beautiful lace at the top. It's a v-neck. It's gotta look so pretty in person, and it's got these like darts. My cat is asking for cuddle, so okay, I'm gonna wrap this up. But it's got like these bust darts, and it's very nicely fitting. So it's just so freaking beautiful, and it's free. I think that the designer of this is maybe like a yarn shop or something. I might be getting that completely wrong. So the reason why I'm only planning on making 2 tops in the spring is because if I manage to finish both tops in the spring and there is still time in the season, then I can just play around and figure out what I want to make next. In reality, I have a lot of projects that I want to make this year. One, I need to finally start my Menacing Loon blanket that time is running out. I need to get that started. Second, I need to wrap up the blanket that I started using the Red Heart Granny Square all-in-one yarn. 2, it's spring, so I need to spend time outside in the yard and do all of the gardening things that I need to do. Actually, if you're interested in that, I do plan on having a little bit of a garden series. So in 1 week from when this video comes out, I will be announcing that and showing you guys some of the things that I have planned for that. So I hope that you're looking forward to it. And also, coming soon, I just decided to add another thing to all of the other projects that I have. I'm not ready to announce it yet, but I'm basically working on something to gift my husband for our first anniversary after getting married. It's a huge project, and I don't know why I do this to myself, but I'm very excited for it, and I really want to still have the bandwidth to be able to make it. You guys will definitely learn all about it in the future, so don't you worry about that. And what else? I also have like a passion project that I'm working with my sister and my brother-in-law, so there's a lot of things going on. And I still need to be able to work my full-time job and eat and clean and spend time with my loved ones and be a human. As much as I would like, my entire life cannot revolve on just knitting, which is unfortunate. That doesn't mean that I don't have a lot of videos that I have planned out. I honestly have all of my videos planned out all the way through June, I think. There's no lack of content coming your way. But for now, I'm only planning on those 2 tops, and I think it's gonna be a great time, and I am so excited to work on something that doesn't involve sleeves, let's be honest. I really hope that with all of the analysis that I did on my favorite garments and my favorite ease, that it will translate into very successful projects for this year. And I'll be able to continue adding garments to my wardrobe that I will cherish and love the way that they look on me and love the way that they feel and be happy. Isn't that what we all wish for? Thank you so much for sticking to the end. I'm so bad at mentioning, please like and please comment and please subscribe. I feel so weird asking for those things, but it really just makes me feel like what I'm doing is of value and that people are enjoying it. So if you are enjoying it, please just give me some signal that you are. I would truly appreciate it. I hope you guys have a great rest of your great rest of your day, and I will see you next time. Bye!